every day that you get a motorsport world champion to come to India. Especially so when you think that in the discipline of motorsport, global motorsport that is, we have world champions not just in Formula One, but we also have them in a class of racing which is far more meaningful for everyday cars and bikes. We are talking about the World Endurance Championship. This is where the events like the Le Mans 24 hours, the Sebring 12 hours, these sort of high octane, flat out racing for that sort of distance really separates the men from the boys. And I've got one great man standing next to me. And before I introduce him, I must tell you, he has won the Le Mans 24 hours 3 times. He's been World Endurance Champion once. He's been winner of the Sebring 12 hours. He's been written his name in the halls of fame at the Nürburgring 24 hours. Say hello to Hans Stuck. Hans, welcome to India.
Thank you, Adel. Thank you very much for that introduction. Thank you.
Brilliant. So, Hans, you have seen a fledgling way of going motor racing in India.
Yes.
Your first impressions about our sport and the standard here.
Yes, first of all, I never been at this fantastic venue here at Bad Circuit, and I was totally positively shocked when I saw it the first time. It's a great venue, and especially now when we have here the racing like from Volkswagen Vento. Right. It's a great place for the young drivers to show their talent on a very demanding track, so the basic of motorsport. Absolutely. And I'm very happy to have this place here. I can imagine many countries would like to have this place,
Yeah, for sure. So This is where, what do you think our drivers need to do, given that they have got cars and the support from Volkswagen?
Yes.
What do the drivers have to bring to the table? What do you think?
I would say number one is talent,
Yeah.
This is number one, you need some talent. Second is you have to be focused on your job, And that's what I like about when young people coming in, because they get really focused very early. It keeps you away from drugs and alcohol, because it's forbidden in motorsport.
Absolutely.
So then they learn punctuality, to be on time on the racetrack, like young people are, go here, party.
Oh, sure.
So this is very good. And second, they need a basis to start. And that's what Volkswagen giving them here, It's a basic to start, and I also think beside Formula One and WEC is many interesting series with touring cars where you begin here. Look at the DTM, for example.
Absolutely.
Look at GT racing. So this is the perfect basis.
Tell me one thing, how does the stepping stone differ for motorsport in Europe and say in India? Is it still the same, but the scale may be different?
I would say you have an advantage because, yes, I'm also the president of the German ASM, and we are struggling with newcomer formulas.
Okay.
When you start in Germany, too much money is involved. I see the single-seater series here, which are pretty rural cars, but they afford them, so young people can start to race. And from there, then you make the step into Formula BMW or Formula 3, whatever, So we have a great advantage here because you give young people an affordable chance to start motor racing.
Tell me one thing, you have been in Sports Car Endurance World Championship when I think probably the most dominant era for Porsche with the 956 and the 962. And you won 3 with those cars, 3 times. What was it like driving those cars? And I'm sure you must have seen the new 919 hybrids. So what is fundamentally changed, apart from the hybrid that is?
I tell you, those cars were a real adventure,
Okay.
They were so bloody fast, so the ground effect we had,
Yes.
And when we raced, for example, on places like Monza or Nürburgring, we were just maybe a second slower. So that shows how much capacity these cars have. They didn't have power steering, they didn't have pedal shift, manual gearbox, there was no brake servo. And you really, I tell you, Abel, you really had to be super physically fit to survive a race like this, There was no air conditioning like today in the car,
Very important thing which you mentioned across over there, the manual shifting, clutch, etc. So how much of it was down to driver skills and talent as well?
Yeah, much more than nowadays.
And also your mechanical sympathy to make the car last not long.
I mean, in these days, you had to survive with the car. Nowadays, you do a 24-hour race Le Mans, you'd go 100% all the time. In these days, you had to go with 80-85%, and you had to just to carry the car around to the finish, Brakes went a bit bad in the end. Tires didn't have this sort of peak for a long time, You had to be careful with shifting, not to scratch the gears, So the driver was much more involved in other things than pure racing. And that's the difference. Nowadays, racing is much more digital. The driver gets instruction from the pits,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
He doesn't have to worry about shifting gears or watching
True,
temperatures, just go balls out, you know. But this is a totally different type of driving.
Do you think this is the sort of driving you would be interested in doing?
I tell you, I'm in a very lucky position because I did both. I
Okay.
started in a very rural way in '69 and still drive the Audi A8 LMS Plus at the Nürburgring as a taxi driver,
Yeah.
which has all these features. But I want to tell you a secret, the old shit was better.
Well, so this is where, think about it. Your
Okay.
dad used to drive the auto unions,
Absolutely, yeah.
and those were hairy cars.
I tell you, when I have the chance to drive this car once in a while per year.
Okay.
When I do I did it in Monte Carlo 2 years ago. I still don't know, Adel, how they could do at the Nürburgring a 500 kilometer stroke. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I pulled my head. Those were the heroes. You know?
And they had just a skull cap.
Yes.
No seat belts.
No,
big
no
steering
nothing.
wheels.
No physio,
No physio,
video
nothing.
nothing.
Nothing. And they had got something in the region of about 80 gallons of fuel in the
Yeah,
car.
sure. Yeah,
And
can you
skinny
imagine?
tires.
Skinny tires, yes. Always oversteer, which was good.
Tell
you
me
know.
one thing, amongst all your co-drivers, who did you feel was the best in what you call trying to come as a partner who shared your same thoughts about car control, setup,
Yes.
how to what you call nurse the car through it? Who did you feel most comfortable with?
Yes, there's no doubt about number one is Derek Bell.
Derek Bell. Okay.
I mean, we almost were like brothers, or like father and daddy maybe, you know.
Okay.
Oh, Derek, listen now, don't listen.
Yeah, okay.
No, he was really good because he taught me a lot, you know.
Okay.
And he knew that I was a little bit faster than him, so he let me do the qualifying. But the most important thing was, Adel, that we had the same idea of setting the cars. Because you have a partner who likes understeer, who like oversteer, then you have a problem, you know. So we figured out this. And then second to this was my last partner in GT racing, Frank Stippler from Germany. And now I feel like Derek was my father, he's now my son. You know?
So you have gone through generations.
Exactly.
You also did a stint in Formula One with Brabham, I remember that,
yes,
with the turbo car which you had done. How was your experience with Formula One?
I must say,
You were too tall for the car.
yes, I was first of all too tall, and maybe I was too young. I wasn't clever enough to really know what I was doing, and I was not really ripe, as you say, you know.
Okay,
So I needed more experience. I needed to be a little bit more focused, you know. When I tell these guys in the morning, be focused on the job. Maybe I was too much and going on and having girls and drinks and wine, you know. It's a pity because maybe I would have been better in Formula One if I would have been personally better. But no regrets. I'm still here in one
Absolutely.
piece,
Oh,
which
yes.
is important in these days.
For,
you know.
for that era of racing,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was very, very vital.
Absolutely.
So Hans, one question. I am a what do you call closet auto historian. So I know about your father's bid to do the world land speed record
Yes.
with the T80.
Yes.
He came so close.
Absolutely, yes.
How did he take it when it could never materialize? How was his mental state of mind?
Yeah, you know, I mean, speaking of it, there's also a sad story because Bernd Rosemeyer got killed
Yes,
in this thing.
true.
So, and I never forget him telling me the story when this morning came, when they wanted to achieve the record.
True.
He didn't go because there was a little side wind.
I know,
You know?
I know.
And he said, no, you know, I'm not really happy. And Bernd Rosemeyer, who was the young white guy, said, I do it, and he got killed, you know.
Yeah.
So he was pretty wise, you know. But telling the stories from these times, incredible. I mean, there's just, I mean, how can I find a word? A hero.
Absolutely. So that's it.
Adel, was nice
Wonderful,
talking to you.
Hans.
Okay, super.
So when we look at the thing that there are people, and when I say you separate the men from the boys, I have got a literal man, a giant of a man in the sport who's come to impart a few of his legendary skills and his knowledge which he needs to share and which he has done so wholeheartedly with the Volkswagen Vento Cup here in the Budva International Circuit.